So today I just bring back with another video, and this video topic is going to be the Aventurine SP, which I already promised my Robin SP video. If you haven't even checked it out, you can totally go to my channel and also see to my latest video where I uploaded Robin SP with her gameplay and also gameplay kits with the full details explanations. Anyway, that's not the main thing. The main thing is that after reading his kit, he's all over the place and also he looks very much interesting, but the rework must be needed into the upcoming version as well as from the HSR developer. If he does not even get any of the important reworks of his kit, I guess he's going to be facing way too much issue compared to the Robin SP, which is also a new character into the upcoming patches. Anyway, let's talk about his game. First of all, I'm not going to share any of the screenshot and also gameplay clips from the leaks, since it is going to cause a copyright strike and also can even terminate my channel all over again, which I don't even want to. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a closest example which we already exist in our game. So if I give you a closest example, it could be none other than our Aventurine, which is a recent elation character after the Silver Wolf level 1999 release. Silver Wolf, our third anniversary character, if you just totally forget about it. Anyway, Aventurine, what she does, going to give you a 3 targets of a skill damage, but these 3 targets are not going to be happen for this Aventurine case. Aventurine are going to deal a AoE damage in his skill, and also when the ultimate are going to be pop up, this ultimate also going to deal a higher amount of AoE damage. So illusion and also remembrance, these two classes are somewhat of a debunking our erudition class, which was kind of like a best resort for the dealing the AoE types of damage. But after the Himeko Nova somewhat of a save the erudition class all over again. People are actually thinking about it, and the amount of value she's actually providing with a sub DPS role and also the whole over of a DPS role is actually way too much good compared to the any of those like erudition character. But in the illusion class, illusion doesn't even give you a direct idea what they are trying to implement in here. Instead of it, they are just giving a little bit of a new mechanics, but when it comes to their actual capability, what they are actually specialized for, they didn't even give you any thought of it. Similar case with our remembrance, where they just somewhat of a specialist with the AoE character and also a specialist with the single target character as well as. So this Aventurine case is very much of a simple, and another important thing is going to be a follow-up damage. Yes, this is the another interesting things what our Aventurine was also doing, because Aventurine, when the punchline was certain generate for her kits, she is going to deal a kind of like a slash damage in the being her off field, which is follow-up attack damage. So Aventurine is going to be dealing that, but this Aventurine damage are not going to be consistent what the Aventurine does. Well, Aventurine case, when she was in a beta testing, she was somewhat of a facing a backlash issue, and also she was way too much nerfed compared to the Silver Wolf to make her Silver Wolf as a flagship character for anniversary. Because in a beta testing version or one for the Silver Wolf and also the Aventurine, what Aventurine does or what Aventurine gives in that time was way too much value what the Silver Wolf could have. So the developer really need to push down to the Aventurine and make the Silver Wolf much more powerful to sell her much higher than ever. So after like before the final release of the Aventurine, they just somehow make the fix what the player were afraid of, and she just become a top tier character. Even each and every endgame mode she considered as a tier 0 character. Anyway, I just totally give you other characters rough idea instead of the Aventurine SP, which is the main vocal topic into this video. So this is a kind of like a basic gameplay talks, so I'm not going to move anymore further. Let's see what his kit actually going to give you and what's the problem is actually lies behind. First of all, when he is actually using his skill, he is going to be generating 2 types of things. First one is going to be the punchline, and second one is going to be the fireball. Let's talk about later the fireball and start with the punchline. Punchline is another kind of like a feeding material for your illusion characters to make your character deal the huge amount of damage. If you don't even have any of those characters such as the EMC, Yao Gong and also Sparksy, these 3 characters are kind of like a specialist for generating the punchline point. But after the punchline point, this guy does not even require the punchline point what the Aventurine and also the Silver Wolf really does require. And this is the another concerning things, because since he comes from the illusion class, not even requirement for the punchline point is not even a good sign. He does really require the forward points, which we can even generate by the 2 methods. First one, if you do have a character who are actually doing the basic attack, single target attack and also the AoE attack, ultimate, anything at all, this is going to be considered as a forward point, just being him Aventurine in the off field. Another things are going to be counted as if you do character have a follow-up damage, this follow-up damage are also going to be counted as a 1 forward point. So if you really want to maximize this forward point with lower amount of turns, you have to have a follow-up full of a teammate when you are going to use him into the battlefield. This is the another concept that you have to maintain. Now, why the forward point is actually required? He does have another mode which is a certified banger, and this certified banger requirement is going to be 10 forward points. When you are going to reach the 10 forward points for the Aventurine, these forward points are going to be activity certified banger. In those certified banger, his each and every damage are going to be higher. Suppose when he is going to deal the skill damage, this is going to be increased with the 40% up to added extra additional 40% are going to be added. And also when he is actually dealing the ultimate, ultimate, this ultimate are going to be additional extra 72% are going to be added as well as. Another important part, certified banger are only last for 2 turns, and when the 2 turns end, you have to do the whole over process all over again. Now, how you can generate the farbo points aside from the teammates and also his skills? Ultimate also going to give you a 8 farbo points, and also the puncher point are going to be generated as a 5. Since his kit is not even going to revolve around the puncher point, and he's also comes from the elation one, which is kind of like a considering him as a dual types of DPS, which is the main concern issue that you have to think before just considering pulling for him. Why am I saying this? Dual substrate or dual scaling issue was already happened or already existed into this HSR game played, which is a pre-buff version, and also the Jinglu, which is a pre-buff version, because in that time Jinglu was scaling with the attack and also HP. Blade was scaling with the dual scaling with of a HP and attack. When a character scale not even a single status rather than a dual status, that character cannot even give you a full types of potential what the character was actually holding back. There's another interesting thing that you have to understand. For the Aventurine case, Aventurine does really the same thing what the Blade and also the Jinglu was facing, but after the post buff, which is a Waveflair buff, there's a somewhat of a fixing it and also making them a single status scaling character, which is a HP rather than the attack. So that's the part of these dual scaling things. Another important thing is going to be his of a speed requirement. Yes, for the silver level 1999 case and also the Aventurine case, each and every other character does really require the speed threshold, but this guy's speed threshold requirement is way too much maximized than ever, because if you just somehow able to give him a 200 speed, you are going to get a 70% elation damage bonus. Remember that 70% elation damage bonus. But if you really want make him a bare minimum things, after reaching the 160 he is going to get a 30%, but after 160 each and every speed are going to be counted as a 1% of elation damage, and these 1% are going to be as a end up with a 70%. So that's how much of a speed requirement this guy is really required, and he is not even going to be HP scaler or like a, rather than of a defense scaler. This guy is a way too much of a standard of a DPS character, such as the crit damage and also attack scaling, but the speed is the way too much requirement that you have to threshold. But for the silver case, silver does not even that restricted to use her of a with a 200 speed, but if you just somehow able to make her a 200 speed, she's not going to give you a value. She's going to have a higher amount of turn in a single cycle, and also make sure to clear a good amount of sustainable clear within a certain cycles. That's the important things for the Seabuff, and Seabuff doesn't even require that much of a attack and also other kit damage. She was having her inbuilt kit with a lots of elation damage, lots of elemental damage, and also lots of kit damage at the same time. That's how much powerful and that's how much active friendly Seabuff was in that time. Anyway, that's all for this like a speed requirement. Another important interesting things is the fallout damage. Yes, fallout damage is kind of like a problematic for his kit right now, since he's a fallout damage specialist. These kits and also whole over of kits does not even give us a rough idea that where his actually fallout is going to become off. I already saw so many MOC clear of him, so whenever your character does a skill attack and also ultimate attack, a follow-up attack, this guy randomly just pop up and also do the follow-up damage. So it does not even have any of those like a restricted or limited requirements where we are going to understand if we just somehow maintain this criteria, then we are going to deploy his follow-up attack much more than ever. So that's the reason why I totally told you in my intro that this guy is somewhat not even of a par level or some certain recent character. This guy really need of a rework, and also some of this like a buff and need to be happen compared to the Robin SP. Robin SP is kind of like a standard one. I'm not saying she's one of the best support character, but we do have a best support character, which is a Blade. The amount of things this guy is actually provide to you is none other character going to be. So anyway, that's the whole of the things of his kit. I guess I can give you a little bit of rough estimation what he actually does and also what his kit is actually going to be. So if you already understand it, I guess you are going to make your decision that is this character are going to be best for your account or not. Since this is a beta version 1, there are lots of beta version are going to be coming after in the near future, and there are so many things are going to be changed, like nerf, buffs, rewards. Some of the things are going to be added, some of the things are going to be removed at the same time. You have to wait for it. So don't even take this initial phase as a fact, take it as a grain of salt. Wait for the other versions to come out and let's make your decision with the final one. So I guess that's all for this video. If you like it, leave a like, and also if you do have any of this like a question regarding his kit and also some other gameplay aspects, you can totally leave into the comment section. I will be replying you there, and see you on the next video. Up until then, peace.